Alright guys, Arsenal have just beaten Liverpool by 3 goals to 2, and first of all, what a game. One of the games of the season so far. It's up there with probably Liverpool v Brighton, City v United, Chelsea v Tottenham, many others. But yeah, brilliant game, and Arsenal took the lead 58 seconds into the game, first attack of the game, and they just sliced Liverpool's defence in half, and quite a few of Liverpool's defenders were caught napping. I thought Alexander-Arnold's positioning wasn't great, but to be fair, I didn't think Alexander-Arnold was too bad this game in terms of the all-round game. Okay, yes, he should have done slightly better on both goals. I think the second goal in particular, you could maybe question what he was doing in terms of just following Henderson and then leaving a massive open space for Martinelli to cut back into. But yeah, I thought he offered a fair bit going forward, and when he came off at half time, he did have an effect on the game in terms of Liverpool just stopped dominating. Because the first half, I think Liverpool probably were the better side. They got the equaliser through Darwin Núñez, and they had a fair few chances. Núñez had a good chance, nearly forced an own goal out of William Saliba. And the goal was a really well worked goal down the right hand side. It ended up with, I think it was Luis Diaz in the end who played the ball across goal, and Núñez managed to get there and put it past Aaron Ramsdale. Alexander-Arnold suffered an injury with about 10 minutes to go in the half, and he got subbed off at half time, but I think it might have also been, as well as being precautionary, because he did carry on, it might have also had something to do with Klopp wanted to get a more defensive minded player in that right back role with Joe Gomez. But I feel as though that also, as much as it did stop the threat a little bit of Martinelli down that left hand side, it did also mean that Liverpool weren't going to be quite so effective going forward, because you haven't got the the vision that Alexander-Arnold has to pick out a pass to one of the forwards. And Arsenal went in 2-1 up at half time. The second goal came from Bukayo Saka. Martinelli, as I've already said, cutting inside and finding him. It was well left by Gabriel Magalhaes in front of the 6-yard box for Saka to tap it in. But yeah, I think it's fair to say Liverpool were probably the better side in the first half, and I went into half time as a Liverpool fan thinking, okay, that's been one of our better first halves this season. We're unlucky to be losing, because I thought after we conceded the first goal, this is just going to be a horror show. But similar to what I thought after Brighton scored first last week, but and second as well. But Liverpool, they came back and played quite well. Second half though, Arsenal started off the better side and just took control of the game. And then Liverpool got a goal out of nowhere. Firmino came on in the first half for Luis Diaz, who went off injured. And Firmino took his goal really well. Everything I say about Liverpool so far this season, all their players haven't been good enough. Firmino has been superb, pretty much every game he's played in so far this season. And do you want a statistic? Only 2 players this season have a better have an average of a goal, more than a goal every 90. Erling Haaland, obviously, and Roberto Firmino. You wouldn't have picked him as your second guess, I wouldn't have thought. But he's been superb for Liverpool so far this season, and has stopped a quite bad start to the season being a horrendous start to the season. What Liverpool did today was they went for the change of formation, which they tried in the week against Rangers. It seemed to work, but I made a video about that game, and I did say that I wondered if it worked because we were up against, no offence to any Rangers fans, a lower level of opposition. And today we're playing one of the best team in the Premier League this season. They're top of the table in Arsenal, away from home as well. And it sort of worked, but sort of didn't in a way, because what it did was, even though Salah hasn't been very good this season at all, it just meant he couldn't get into the game at all, because he's part of a front four, so he's being pushed back automatically. Otherwise, it's just going to get crowded in too many areas in Liverpool's attack. So it made Salah less effective, and Salah wasn't overly involved against Rangers really. But it allowed Nunez to play a bit better, I suppose, and Jota didn't have a great game today, but he played well in the week. But yeah, I'm not sure it has worked, because it improves Henderson and Thiago in midfield, but it still doesn't help the defensive problem, I don't think. I would like to see, going forward, Liverpool, just for a few games, trial a three at the back system where they play Matip, Konate, and Van Dijk, or Gomez, Matip, Van Dijk, or Gomez, Konate, Van Dijk, one of them three. And then you have Trent as a wing back, Tsimikas as a wing back, a two-man midfield of Henderson and Thiago, because although Thiago didn't have his greatest game today, I think Henderson's improved in this in a two-man midfield than a three-man midfield. And then the front three of, I don't know, Salah, Nunez, and possibly Firmino. I'm not quite sure how that would work though. I think you'd have to play Firmino as a number 10 and 2 up front. But yeah, we need to do something about our defensive problems, because these are the main problems. Liverpool's goal scoring this season hasn't been too bad. 20 goals, I think it is, from 8 games or something like that. It isn't too bad. I know the bulk of them came against Bournemouth in that one game, but it's not too bad going forward. We just need to tighten up defensively. And Arsenal, I haven't given them enough credit. That they once again, they probably deserved it in terms of how they performed second half, because Liverpool edged it first half for me, whereas Arsenal dominated second half. And yeah, once Firmino scored, it didn't change the flow of the game. Arsenal continued to dominate, and they got a penalty. I haven't seen it again. Nobody really saw it when it happened, because the ball was cleared, but they only showed one replay of it on Sky, and it was hard to tell from that replay. But I'll assume it was a penalty, because I think they didn't even send the referee over, so it must have been, a penalty. Saka scored it. It was a well-taken penalty. Alisson went the right way, but Saka put it right in the corner. And I've seen a lot of people saying that Liverpool should have had a penalty in the first half. When it happened, for me, I thought, yeah, it might get given as a penalty, but I don't you don't want to see it given as just a football fan, because there's nothing Gabriel can really do about it, or Saliba, I can't remember who it was, because it's so close his hand's so close to where the ball is kicked. So yeah, I think that would have been a bit harsh. But yeah, Arsenal back on top of the table. There's not really a lot more I can say. They're just like steaming on. I still think Man City will win the league this season, but this is a massive result for Arsenal, and I think it sort of says that they're not going to roll over for anyone, that they are going to push Man City this season at least. There's still a small chance, who knows, they could win it, because they do look superb at the moment. But yeah, anyway, it's problems continue for Liverpool. But yeah, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.